You ever have that high school coach that you just have a story about? Whether you played a sport or it was that teacher, you know, that was like your DECA coach or something. You got a story about that trip that y'all took that one time. You know that one time that I'm talking about. Our next storyteller was a high school football coach riding home late at night with the team in tow on a bus when something happened that you really would only see in movies. This one night on a bus, welcome Derrick Pearson.
Thank you all. I'm going to take you outside of the state of Nebraska for a moment. I've been, in a previous life, I was a high school coach. I was known as Coach DP. DP, that's just what, hey Coach DP. I currently live here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Some of you will hear me on the radio, and I get to talk, and I get to bring some of those coaching memories forward for lessons. So, I hope you're ready to go on a ride. Some of you back in 1994 will remember the movie Speed, and the great late Dennis Hopper came up with this line, pop quiz, hotshot. You're on a bus. Well, I'm about to give you a sentence that I don't think anybody else in this room can copy. I'm on my bus with my football team in Utah, riding down the side of a mountain with no brakes, and the bus is on fire. Yeah. As we go through it, I just want to paint the picture. Coaching in Utah was different. I happened to coach at a Christian academy in Utah. Now, that's a story for another year. But because of the size of the school, sometimes we would take these 3, 4, 5-hour bus rides just to get competition. And one of these nights, 4 hours in, we get the win. Excellent. But those rides back with high school teenagers, it's a little different. And they're usually fatigued and they go to sleep. They crash. And for those of you that have teenagers, you know what it's like to deal with sleeping teenagers. The adults, the coaches are up front, and some of them have fallen asleep. And you're kind of dozing until you hear horns blowing. And you snap to and gather yourself. Nothing prepared me for what I was about to hear. Because driving next to us, there are people in a car, windows open, and they're yelling. They're yelling at us. Lower the window. Sir? Your bus is on fire. I look at my buddy Lyle. Did he just say the bus is on fire? Yeah. Bus driver, sir, did you hear this guy? Yeah, I heard him. We move up to whisper. What's going on? He goes, yeah, bus is on fire. And that's not the real problem here. There's a bigger issue. Bigger issue, sir. Shane, said driver. Shane, what's the bigger problem? We don't have any brakes. Now, Parley's Canyon, you think Salt Lake Olympics, winter, Park City, top of the state, all the mountains. We have to get from the top of the mountain to the valley in Salt Lake City on a bus that's on fire with no brakes. Now, I need to concede something to you. I'm afraid of heights. When me and my wife go on road trips, we have to talk it through. Sometimes if we're gonna be on the side of a mountain and I have to talk it through. Like, listen, now a coach in Utah, grow up, there are mountains. You're gonna have to deal with them. except I wasn't prepared. The cars start to peel off because, hey, the bus is on fire and it doesn't have any brakes. And the hill, this is kind of how this goes. And every turn, my hand sweats a little more. My voice starts to waver. And then you realize, Coach, you have kids on this bus. What are you gonna do? Now, go back, I said, Christian school, we know how to pray. Got it down. We knew which prayer to go to. We knew who was gonna lead it. And then as you're getting through the prayer, then you have to make a decision. We're in trouble. And they said, well, on sometimes these roads, sometimes they have these gravel exits, except for we're going too fast and there are too many cars on the road with us who are trying to avoid us at all costs. And they are peeling off like, listen, they were heroes a minute ago. Hey, your bus is on fire, but we're out of here. Like, this is not gonna end well, so deuces. Shane looks at us and says, look, we have one last hope. At the bottom of the hill, the very thing that you come to, it is a sharp right turn. Sharp right turn. And it goes slightly uphill, so we might have a shot. Now, Shane has been pumping these brake pads for as long as he could, and we're afraid. You have to wake the kids up. Now, parents, imagine trying to wake your sons and daughters up out of a full, deep, fatigued sleep with words that have to communicate this urgent message that I'm about to deliver. Malik, I need your attention. Don't panic. But the bus is on fire and we don't have brakes. Now, as my captain, we need for you to get everybody on one side of the bus. Now. Now, we make again, second prayer in full, out loud. We get to the bottom of the hill. Problem. At the bottom of the hill, there are two stoplights. You're hoping they're green. It's gonna get interesting if it's not green. It's already interesting, but it's gonna get more interesting if it's not green. If they're both not green. And you hope on a Friday night in Salt Lake City that there's no traffic at 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Mormon folks, for being home. Appreciate it. I appreciate you being home. We make the turn, full ramp up the hill, turn it, and then we realize there's another problem. We're gonna make the stop, which is good, except this bus on fire has come to a complete halt right in front of a gas station. I'm old. I was younger then, but I'm old now. I was fast. I have never in my athletic career moved as fast as I did in gathering students and coaches and getting them off a bus and as far away from this gas station and the fire as possible. We made it off the bus. Sitting on the curb, I snapped some pictures just because people weren't going to believe that this thing happened, that I was on a bus going downhill that was on fire with no brakes. By the time they put the fire out, I get home, I sit on my bed, and I just gather myself. I just gather myself because I've had quite the evening. And I turn on my TV, as I'm prone to do, and what do I hear on the television? Pop quiz, hotshot. You're on a bus. My wife will tell you, I'm quick with a remote. I have never turned off a TV as quickly as I did that night, and took the longest shower in history to wash it all off. If anybody ever says to you, where there's smoke, there's fire, let's hope that it's not a bus and your brakes are working. Thank you.
One more time for Derrick Pearson. That just kind of, you just imagining it, and I'm not a parent, so if you're a parent, I just know that in your head it's a little worse than it is for me, but I'm just like, man, if my coach ever said that to me, I would lose it. Thank you for sharing that story. Really appreciate it.